Welcome to Coach's Corner, Cavs fans. Thanks for joining me here on this Monday afternoon with Mike Spriggs and I. And of course, you can always check out the highlights and check out the Coach's Corner on cavfootball.com, along with a whole bunch of lots of other stats over the years and previous seasons and all those types of things on Cav football. So today we're going to talk about the game from last week, and then preview the St. Henry game, and then I'm going to talk about the support staff, Eric Goodwin, who is our AD, senior spotlight, Mason Klosterman and Seth Stewart, coaches spotlight, Mark Bruns, and then talk about maybe our next week's time and all those types of things. So backing up last week to Anna, the score ended up being 43-14. We got off to a great start. We scored, we held them 3 and out on the very first drive, and I think we might have did that twice and got touchdowns. And then they fumbled the kickoff, and so we got the ball on about the 25, and I think he actually even scored the very next play. So we got off to a really good start, and just continued that the rest of the game, and got a lot of guys got to play, which was awesome in the second half. So all those seniors that don't get to play quite as much got a good quarter and a half. Some of them 2 quarters, and even some of the young sophomores and several of the juniors that typically don't play in the varsity games and did really well. Of course, the JV guys, they came right back on a Saturday morning and traveled to Anna and won. I think they won 14-6, I believe, but they won by a touchdown, and they're undefeated right now, the JVs. So they've had their 4 games also. So kudos to them. So Anna, pretty fairly young team, sophomore quarterback. So a mixture of some old guys but play several sophomores, and like I said, we got off to a good start and kind of held that the rest of the way. So we feel good about that game. So St. Henry week, always an exciting week. Unfortunately, we lost to them last year in a really frustrating game. The game was, I think, ended up 21-14, I believe. But we had 4 turnovers in the second half, so we were really frustrated. We were moving the ball and then just couldn't protect the ball and gave it back to them, and they held on for a good win for them. This year, St. Henry squad is coming in at 1-3. Their quarterback from last year had a shoulder injury, I believe, and he really likes baseball, and so I think he's taking the year off, maybe because of that. I don't really all know the details on that, but so they're starting a young quarterback and trying to find their way with that 1-3, and they had last week the same thing we had against them last year. So they lost the Parkway, but had, I think, 5 turnovers in the game. So I'm sure they're disappointed with that and really frustrated. They did lose quite a few really good seniors last year, so they're playing some young guys, but also have a mixture of 6, 8, 10 seniors that are playing. So this is a game that they'll bounce back and play a lot better than they did last week, I'm sure, and make this a good ball game. We do travel to St. Henry. I know we were there last year, but when the schedule rotates every 2 years, sometimes you have to, you go back to back and play the same team at the same site, sometimes twice in a row. So that's just the way it goes. So that's really not a big deal. So we are traveling to St. Henry again this week, and obviously it's not a 5-mile drive. So an easy transition to get to St. Henry and play that game. In the spotlights, I'd like to talk about Eric Goodwin, who is our athletic director, and gosh, he's been here, I don't know, it's longer than me, so at least 20, 23 years, 22, 28, 21, I guess I've been here 21. So at least 21 years, and Eric does an outstanding job working all the sports and makes life easy for us head coaches as far as scheduling and busing. I can remember back in Middletown, I was scheduling the buses and just the scheduling schedules and things like that, where he has taken care of lots and lots of those things that people don't see. And busy with all the tournaments that we run, and lots of schools don't run any tournaments or host any tournaments, and we have our own tournaments, let alone and add to that, running a lot of the once we start the state tournaments. Eric always is willing to host those sectional tournaments and things like that. So Eric does a great job, and I really appreciate with our facilities, with all the things that need to go on, he takes care of it all. So thanks, Eric. Coach's Spotlight, Mark Bruns today. Mark is in his 10th year. He and I together for 10 years. Mark is the defensive coordinator. Of course, he played under Coach Reed, and then he moved away to Cincinnati and spent several years at Cincinnati Anderson, where they won a state title, and I think in 2007, I believe. And so he's had some really good experiences in some big programs, or at least at Anderson, a division. I think they're 1 and 2 at the time he was there. So played some really good teams, and he's come back home. And Mark has 4 boys. He's got twins, I think, in kindergarten, and I think let's see, a 7th grader. Jack's playing in 7th grade, and Romy's a 5th grader. So he'll be ready to play here in a couple years. So Mark, very dedicated to the task at hand of being the D coordinator and calling the defense, and he coaches the outside linebackers and really helps with the receivers with Coach Kenny. So Mark Bruns, the coach's spotlight, I guess. So senior spotlights. Again, I'm going numerically. So number 17, Seth Stewart, and number 36, Mason Klosterman. Seth is an outside hybrid outside linebacker safety for us, depending on who we're playing and what defense we're playing. And sometimes he looks like a linebacker, and sometimes he looks like a safety. He also is on all our special teams and is a really good, maybe the best special teams guy we have. So Seth has waited his turn to be a full-time starter on the defensive side, even though he was a really good special teams guy last year. So Seth, football is his only sport, so he's all in on the football, and kind of quiet the last couple of years and not quite sure what he could do. But last year he really showed us that he can play, and is having a really good year. So hats off to Stewie, and hopefully he'll continue that and stay healthy throughout the year. Mason Klosterman, number 36, is a defensive back and receiver and special teams guy, and I'm sure Mason wished he was playing a lot more, but we had a good talk last week, and his attitude is great. He helps out on all the special teams. Mason is a good wrestler, so hopefully this is helping him get ready for wrestling, and he'll chug away and is doing a really good job jumping in on some special teams, and is just a good teammate, good guy for our seniors to have with them, and hopefully he'll roll into wrestling and have an outstanding wrestling season. So much appreciated from Mason that he comes to practice every day with a great attitude and just does what he's asked to do to help the team and then roll into that wrestling season. One last thing before we go, Mike and I were trying to figure out what our program is sitting at right now, and so we've had 14, 16, 17 ball games from 7th grade on up, and we're 14, 1 and 2. So we feel really good about that. The 7th graders are 1, 1 and 1, and gosh, they could easily be 3 and 0, but things happened. I think they had some quarterback exchange problems last week and lost 16-14. But the 8th graders are 3 and 0. The freshmen are 2-0 and 1. The JVs are 4 and 0, and the varsity is 4 and 0. So we feel good about that. We have good numbers. I think we have 78 at the varsity level, freshmen through. I think the 8th graders is not a big of a class of players. I think they have a little over 20, but they have some really good players. And the 7th graders have a big class. They got, I think, 35 on the squad right now. So of course, we like to maintain those guys, and I would say typically by the time they graduate, they're between 15 to 20 on typical years, sometimes a few less. But that's a good sign for the program when the players still want to play and keep coming out. So we're happy about that. So Friday night, the backyard brawl, as they call it, Thursday afternoon practice. We call it Throwback Thursday. It's a lot of fun, and the players can wear whatever any kind of uniform that they have. A pro one, some guys will wear their dad's jerseys. Some guys will wear just whatever college jerseys, different shorts. Sometimes guys will even have basketball shorts and a football jersey, something like that. It's just a lot of fun. And so we always look forward to that on Thursday. And then, of course, the game is at St. Henry, a 7 o'clock start time. So Coldwater St. Henry this Friday.